Well, hello, and greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneurs Institute live show, and we are back yet again. So, hey, Angela, hey, Nicole, and hey, Cedric.
Well, hello.
So, do you guys remember when Tom Joyner was on the radio and he was the fly jock? We're gonna have to start calling Cedric like the fly host. From show to show.
Just pop on in.
Yeah, pop on in right on time. Right.
Hey,
on
they just
time.
call me the hardest working man in life.
Oh my goodness, you guys are cracking me up. So, how are y'all doing today? What's going on?
Doing wonderful. No complaints.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, no complaints at all. I'm always doing great, and I'm excited to be here with you guys tonight.
Yeah, well, so we guys, listen, can you believe it that we are already at the end of the first quarter, right? It is March 30th today. We are coming to you live. And here's what I can tell you that, and Angela and Cedric, they joke me about this all the time, but I'm not a huge sports enthusiast, right? But Cedric and Angela both are. And I know that March Madness is that season with the NCAA tournament has been in full swing for the last few weeks. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're down to the Elite Eight now. Is that right?
Yeah, and after tonight on the women's side, it's going to be final four. So we got some good games going to be on. Well, games on right now, actually. So,
in other words, let's hurry up and get done with the show so you can go on.
You said it, I did.
Do you guys still have teams that are still in the running?
Yeah, well, Oh, go ahead, Angela. I'm sorry.
Well, so it's interesting because I am definitely a big sports fan, but over the last 2 months, I have really kind of tried to pull back my sports watching just because I'm in this season of business growth that I think needs my attention. But having said that, so on Sunday, I believe both of my alma maters were actually playing each other in the NIT tournament, which is for Damien and Nicole. I know you guys don't follow sports, so that's where those who couldn't make it to the NCAA go, but they still were good enough not to totally go at home or be at home. So that was pretty cool, to have my two schools playing each other. I didn't watch the game though, but and then I was teasing Cedric because he was bragging on the Texas women yesterday, and our former coach who had taken our girls to the Final Four, I think the two of the previous 3 years, is now the women's coach in Texas, and he's doing a good job there. I have to give it to him.
Yes, Vic Schaefer.
Yes.
But he came from Texas and went to Mississippi State. They, in fact, one of my former players played on that team, Dominique Dillingham, played on that team, and they went to the national championship game, actually, I think. Yeah. And
we don't want to remember that, but go ahead.
It was a great tournament for them, right? So teams are still playing right now. Texas plays tonight. Texas women play tonight. Baylor women lost last night on a very controversial call against UConn machine.
But you know what, Cedric? After you let somebody do a 19-0 run on you, I don't know if you can complain about the last call, right?
Yeah, I know. But it was going against UConn, and that's just a winning machine. There 11 championships. Now Baylor's won 3, but Gino seems to just like win them back to back to back. He's even though technically he has the most. Pat Summitt is she's still the holy grail, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So after the night, let's say Texas lose tonight, I'm still gonna have a team in, because whoever's playing the championship, I'm gonna pick one of them.
Now, Nicole and I are basically like flies on the wall right now. And I don't know about you, Nicole. I don't really get it, but let me ask you this: like, just level with us, right? For those of us that are not sports enthusiasts, why are you guys so passionate about sports?
It's competition. It's the excitement.
Yeah.
it's all of that stuff. I mean, if you can't get excited about your team, like, beating another team, or get upset because your team is just like, what are you doing? You can't get out, man. Yeah, that's excitement.
I have to agree with Frederick. I also think sports is just a little bit of everything, right? It's community, it's affinity group, it's some hatred involved.
Yeah.
It's competition, it's discipline, it's teamwork. Sports just gives it all. We got songs we sing, at the game. It's chants. It's a little bit of everything. And so I love sports. I've always loved sports ever since I was a young person. And then being in the band, I always had to go to the games anyway because the band had to go. So it was like, well, if you're going to be here anyway, you may as well understand it. And that's where I really started digging deep in it. But sports literally has everything: drama, scandal. It has it all.
I mean, if you're living in the country of Texas, then it's either you are a Texas A&M guy or you are a Longhorn on the right side of things. Anytime the Aggies lose, it's a great day. Even if Texas is not playing, if the Aggies lose, it's a great day.
See, that's sports for you.
And there you have it.
Well, guys, I can appreciate that. Thanks for breaking it down. I never thought about sports as having all the elements of drama, but I think I can relate to that. I'll buy it for right now and let you all slip. But anyway, as we move on, friends, at the Black Entrepreneurs Institute here at BEI, we are all about entrepreneurship and in some case sports, but we're all about helping entrepreneurs to elevate their mindset and their money, right? And I think it's important to us because while we do understand that entrepreneurship is important to the economy, it's also important to communities because entrepreneurs provide solutions to problems and they fill unmet needs. And if I remember, you guys will remember last season, we had Marcus Davis of the as one of our previous guests, and he's the owner of the Breakfast Club in Houston. And I really loved his definition of entrepreneurship. In fact, I think it's one of the best definitions of entrepreneurship that there is. Hey, Cedric, do you remember what Marcus said?
Yeah. So he says, providing what the market is calling for. The market is going to tell you what it's calling for, either consciously or unconsciously, right? He says sometimes the market knows what it wants and entrepreneurs delivers, right? That's oh happy day, right? But other times the market doesn't know what it wants, and the entrepreneur's job is to figure out what it is and to deliver that. And we know that the market wants Texas to win tonight. So
how did we end up back in Texas?
I don't know. I don't know how we got there. But the information on the entrepreneur, I'm all in agreement with that. As an entrepreneur, sometimes it can feel like a lonely journey to be an entrepreneur, especially when you're first starting out. But just listening and looking at some of the statistics that may surprise many of you out there as it pertains to entrepreneurship. Did you know that 62% of U.S. billionaires are self-made, meaning they started out by themselves and they built an empire and now are billionaires? In 2016, there were 25 million Americans who were starting or already running their own business. And that number has now increased, especially we've seen a lot of new entrepreneurs since the pandemic. People are realizing that entrepreneurship is a viable way to generate income, especially when their current 9-to-5, whether they were laid off or they were not able to go to work. Now they're getting creative, right, and thinking of ways to generate income. So we've seen a lot of new businesses within the last year start to spring forth. But when we think about just the business journey and the entrepreneur journey, statistics say that most small businesses fail within 3 to 5 years. And the number one reason why businesses fail is there is no market need. So listening to the definition that Marcus Davis gave us, it's so critical to understand that you have to truly be a problem solver as an entrepreneur. And the more problems you're solving, the more you're going to grow your business. So it's just an amazing thing to understand entrepreneurship. And we see now there are 582 million entrepreneurs in the world. That's a lot of people. So if you think that entrepreneurship is not for you, or you're gonna fail, talk to the 582 million people that are doing it, right? So think about that. If you are starting, have an idea, want to start a business, this is a time to do it. It's in BEI boot camp, which I'm so excited. We have a new cohort that is starting next week. For those who want to take your business to the next level, we are now on cohort 4. We got Angela has 4 babies. You're muted.
Wait a minute, we haven't delivered number 4 yet.
Okay.
We still got time. It's gestating.
So in the boot camp, we focus on how to understand our markets, finding our ideal customers and our avatars, and really finding our niche and honing in as to actually what do we want to do and who do we want to serve. So as you look at your business, what would you say sets you apart from your business, from all your competitors? And what has helped you beat the odds this far as it pertains to surviving and not only surviving, but thriving?
Yeah. So first we're going to start off with, look at that color right there. It happens. It's everywhere all of a sudden.
He on one tonight.
Don't mess around and jinx
So, surviving and thrive, not just surviving, but thriving in your business requires me to constantly think of new ways to, one, challenge my customers to innovate what we do, right? And so in the leadership development space, it's not just going in and delivering content, right? It's also helping people have an experience when they're there, right? An experience through storytelling, an experience through activities or things that they're going to do during the workshop, and helping them with having those aha moments. We call them transformational moments, right? That's really what for me sets me apart, because I try to think into that. I don't just say, here's what we're going to do. I try to think into it and then consciously add some things that's going to deliver on those things for my customers.
Yeah, and I really love the question. And Cedric, I watch you and I learn from you a lot. But I think for me, one of the things that's really allowed me to thrive is the ability to listen to my clients and then provide them with the benefit that they're seeking. I think that comes from having many, many years of sales experience, because a lot of times people think that when you're selling, you have to talk people into something, but you really sell by listening. And if you ask the right questions, they will share with you what it is that they need, where they're stuck, what their pain point is. And all you have to do from that point is to be able to craft your offer in a way that best meets the client's needs. And so because of that, that's allowed me to sell more, do more business. And ultimately, I don't know any business that goes under because they have too many sales, right? We know that sales is the lifeblood of an organization. It is where the money resides, where the money resides.
I have too much business, so I got to close.
You guys
says no one.
Exactly. So for me, Nicole, it's a couple of things, and definitely you have to have sales, because nobody wants to be the best kept secret in town. But as I look over my journey, and like so many entrepreneurs, I started it part-time because I was transitioning. But when I look at it now and how it's grown, I would say it's due to a couple of things. One is that I continue to grow me. So as much as, we're all in that space for growing other people, we all are models of the fact that we can't give what we don't have. We can't take people where we haven't been. And so for me, that constant growth and that awareness that I need to grow, and that I don't have all the answers yet, I have a humble heart and want to serve others. And so figuring out, how do I add value? In the beginning, sales for me was actually, Damien, a little challenging, because my attitude is, look, either you want it or not, right? But you can't go into a conversation like that. But when I learned to listen to them and figure out what their pain points were and what they needed, then it was just like, oh, I have a solution. And because I'm so confident that my solution is the right solution, it doesn't even come off as a sale, right? It really comes off as me helping them, which is what I want to do. And so that shift in mindset, that I was qualified, that I had the capacity and the competence to meet those needs, it just started showing up in my energy and how I did what I did. And then it started being fun. And so now it's just like, I get up every day, and some days, y'all all know, because we message each other in the middle of the night, we up and we working, but it doesn't feel like work, right? It's fun because we're doing what we want to do.
That is awesome. And for me, when I think about my journey and what kind of defined me from moving to that survival to thrival mode, it was really when I really defined my niche. So like many entrepreneurs out there, I myself wanted to save the world, right? I was selling to everybody because I had the solution and everybody needed it, right? So I started out wanting to help everyone and sell to everyone. But then I realized quickly that I was not selling to anyone. And I didn't understand why until getting the coaching and until getting the understanding of, I need to hone in into a niche and truly be a problem solver to a specific avatar. And once I did that, I saw the shift in my business, where now I became a sort of like an expert in that area. So people now with that branding, they know me, Dr. Nick Love the Kids, and I'm the millennial queen. And, I'm helping people understand the interactions with young people. So people see me as that. But in the beginning, I was trying to be everything to everybody, and my business was suffering. So it was getting that understanding of where my true passion lies, and who I was called to serve with it. And then when I had put those two together, I found my place. And when I found my place, I found my people. And so now we have this wonderful relationship where business is thriving, and things are great. And like you said, Angela, it doesn't feel like work, because I love it, right? I love to do what I love to do and what I call to do. So when you're in that space of what we call the sweet spot, it doesn't feel like work, and you can have fun, and you can make money, and where the money resides, and have fun and grow, and it's a wonderful thing. So absolutely great things that you all said as well.
Dr. Nick, I think that was actually a tweetable. When I found my place, I found my people. I love that.
Go ahead and tweet. Go ahead and tweet.
Go on and tweet that out.
Go ahead and tweet that one.
That's a good one, And Angela, I really love when you said that we can't give others what we don't have. So understanding the importance of, staying in a growth mode, continuing to learn and sharpen your skills. That is absolutely essential, and growing in competence, growing in confidence, and serving your clients at the highest level is what it is all about. So listen, I'm really excited today, because today we get to do a brand new segment. We've added BEI is all about growth. So friends in the audience, you may remember that a few months ago we reached out to you, our audience, to advise that we would be starting this new segment called Entrepreneur of the Month, where we would highlight a business owner that is making an impact by producing high quality products and services. the reality is that people are quick. I mean, really, really quick to write a negative review when a business is not living up to its promise or delivering their service with excellence. And we all know that bad news has a way of traveling really, really fast, right? But the challenge is that that doesn't necessarily happen when it comes to promoting those who are providing quality service and doing reputable business. That good news doesn't travel quite as fast as bad news will travel. And you guys know our hearts here in BEI. We believe in elevating others. And so tonight, it is our pleasure to introduce a new segment to the BEI show that we have entitled Entrepreneur of the Month. And guess what? We've got a phenomenal entrepreneur here with us tonight, and we're going to be bringing her to the stage in just a moment. But let me just tell you a little bit about her, because I want you to understand that we have greatness in our presence. So let me just give you her bio real quick. So her name is Otescia R. Johnson, and she is a best-selling author, screenwriter, success coach, publisher, and international keynote speaker. Otescia holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, and she uses her education and background in the business world to manage her companies, BOY Publications, which is Bet on Yourself. That's what BOY stands for. BOY Enterprises, Inc., and O. Johnson Ministries. Now, she herself, she's the author of 13 books and several screenplays. In addition to publishing her own books, Otescia has also assisted over 60 authors in bringing their books to the market. She is also the creator of Magnetize Your Life Systems, God's Scribe Mastermind, and the Broke to Profitable Group Coaching Program. And when she isn't supporting and inspiring others, Otescia can be found enjoying life with her husband and her grandchildren. So with no further ado, let me bring to the stage Otescia R. Johnson. Let's give her a warm BEI welcome.
Woo-hoo.
Welcome.
Otescia,
welcome.
you're muted, my friend, so you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone.
There you go.
There you go.
Also, welcome. Well,
Thank you so much for having me.
absolutely. We're excited to have you and to learn more about you as our first entrepreneur of the month. We're excited. So, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and how and why you got started in the entrepreneurship journey?
I think, just like most of us, I didn't grow up thinking I was going to be an entrepreneur. I had a career that I loved, and I was in HR, loved what I was doing. I was killing it and staffing all these national accounts and managing offices in 2 different states. And I thought, man, this is great. I'm really good at what I do. My clients love me. My employees that are working for us love me. This is fantastic. And then I got a phone call one day and they said, you have been amazing. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, but we're closing your office effective immediately. And I was like, oh, okay. And so at first it was like, maybe I'll just dabble with writing because I'd already started writing books, but I just wasn't really leaning into it. And then when the bills started rolling around about 3 or 4 months later, when severance was gone and, savings starts drying up, I realized the problem was I was putting my financial future in someone else's hands. Mm-hmm. I did not have a backup plan for if that company were to go under or, just many things that happen within the world. And so it really prompted me to dig deep and go back to the things that I used to do. Because when I was in high school, I studied women in entrepreneurship. I studied women who were breaking glass ceilings and doing things that wasn't expected of them and, kind of going outside of the box. But then everyone tells you, well, you need to go to college, you need to get a degree, you need to get a good job, that has benefits. And so I did those things, but it wasn't until I was put in a position to where my family needed me to contribute to our income. And the thing that I relied on was taken away, that I was forced to learn how to make it work. I could have went and got another job, but I realized as an entrepreneur, this is when I realized I was really an entrepreneur. I didn't like the idea of working for someone else. I did it because I thought it was what was expected of me. I thought that kind of success. But deep down on the inside, I like making my own schedule. I like doing things differently. I like having creative ideas. And if I want to implement a new program, I want to be able to do that. And as long as I was working for someone else, I was never going to be able to do that. So being put in that situation, although it was a difficult decision, I always say it was the greatest thing that could have ever happened to my career, because it forced me to dig deep and ask Otescia, like, what do you really want? What are you really interested in? What makes your soul sing? And when I thought about it, it was creating something out of nothing, which is basically what we do in entrepreneurship.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, it sounds it sounds like you were forced into this area, and you recognize that, yeah, that's where you needed to be. And I just love that story. It caused you to kind of have to tap into your gifting and your passion.
Exactly.
So Otescia, here's the thing, right? You are our very first entrepreneur of the month. And so when we asked our audience about business owners that are providing a quality services and getting it right, your business was nominated. So talk to us about the value of customer service and how providing great service has impacted your business.
When I was just getting started and I didn't have, all of the testimonials and things that I have now, I didn't have clients that would make videos and say how amazing I was. I used customer service as the thing that was going to set me apart from everyone else. So even though we're in a digital world where people aren't handwriting notes anymore, every single new client that signed on with me, I was so incredibly grateful for them. They got a handwritten note in the mail, a handwritten thank you card welcoming them to BOI Enterprises. And I learned very early on that I was doing things that other entrepreneurs weren't doing anymore. They were still getting an actual phone call from me, and more than just an email. And like I said, they were getting the handwritten notes. And customer service and making the customer experience easy was the thing that really set me apart early on. So when a new person came to me, I didn't make it difficult for them to work with me. They didn't have to click on 10,000 different links on my website to be able to figure out how to buy. The customer experience was smooth. It was an automated workflow that included a personal touch, because we can get so busy making things automated so that it's easy for us on the entrepreneur side that we can forget what it's like to be a customer. So anytime I'm connecting with a new prospect, I always say, what did I wish I had when I was starting out in my business? Or, I work with a lot of authors. So when I was a brand new first time author, what did that publishing company that I originally signed with, how did they miss it? What mark did they miss? And that's what I want to make sure that I exceed every single time. I want to make sure that every time a person talks to me, they walk away feeling, wow, that was such a phenomenal experience. Because people may not always remember what you say, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And so if you're a new entrepreneur, you're just getting started, you're trying to figure out, how can I stand out in the market? Look and see what others are doing. And there's always going to be a hole, because that's your space. Wherever you see the hole, that's your opportunity to fill it and provide the customer with the experience that they're longing for. Because even if they don't know exactly what they need, they know how they want to feel. Everyone wants to feel good when they walk away from an experience. And if you make someone feel good, they'll come back and they'll spend more money and more money and more money, because it doesn't feel slimy. It feels like a great experience. Where the money resides.
You see the way Cedric's grinning over there? I think he understands that real well.
You have an awesome story. So thanks very much for being on our show tonight. And I'm going to start off exactly where you left off. You said people may not remember what you said. They may not remember what you did, but they're always going to remember how you made them feel. So I went to your website and I left with the feeling of, I was feeling good because I saw one word and it said ghost writing. right? So I may have to call you. As a side note, I just may have to call you about that, right? So, I looked at what you said there. I was like, "That's me right there."
Yeah, that's what I need. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but on your website, you have this area around publishing partnerships,
Yeah.
right? So help us understand what is publishing partnerships and the different programs that you have under your publishing partnership programs.
So what a lot of people don't understand about the publishing process is there's only 5 major publishing companies in the US. And so with there only being 5, getting a traditional publishing deal can be very, very difficult for someone who may not have a large following. In fact, most of the celebrities that you know, they didn't get a publishing deal because they sought a publishing deal. They got it because someone who works for that publishing company said, man, this person has great influence. They have so much influence, I bet they can sell 1 million books. So the publishing industry is only going after those who have proven influence at this point. So when you have a person who may have a phenomenal message, they may be shaping up something that really is going to shake up their industry. The traditional publishing world may not have as much vision and be able to see where this individual is going. That's how I like to say it. They don't have as much vision. They're not as creative. They don't take as many liberties. So there is where a lot of people turn into like small press publishing companies or even vanity presses. The issue with the vanity press is once you pay them, they don't care if you sell a single. They're done with you. So they've taken your money, and if you don't make any money, if your book isn't popular, they're done. Most of them do not help you with marketing, or their idea of helping you with marketing is sending you a list of all the local bookstores in your area, like you couldn't Google that for yourself. So when I was a new author, I didn't understand that, and I ended up signing what they call a joint venture publishing deal. And in a joint venture deal, the publisher and I both contributed equally in terms of I paid for half of the expenses, they paid for the other half. And then so on the back end, we split the royalties 50-50. But what I noticed was I didn't like the way they did my cover. It was horrendous. Like I would never let anybody put my name on that. It was that bad. So I had to go and hire my own cover. And then my first book was really faith-based. It was a lot of scripture. And the editor was trying to edit my scriptures. And I'm like, lady, we can't edit scriptures. Like, that's not how that works. We can't change those. And so I had to hire another editor on the back end. And so I was doing so many things on my own. What I realized was, what did I pay you guys for? Because I had to do all the work myself. And that was my first clue that there is a great need for someone to come in, number one, to hold the author's hand, to teach them all the steps, but also to show them the ropes of how to put out a book that looks like it was published by the big 5 publishers, has the exact same distribution network that all the big 5 have, and then teach them how to grow an audience so that when they launch their book, they're not launching to an empty room. I see so many people who say, here, cover, I've been working in silence. And I'm like, that's the craziest thing. Why would you do that? No one's expecting it. No one's anticipating it. Yeah. So what we do with the publishing partnership, our authors get the ability to maintain all of their rights and royalties, but they get our team of experts to edit their book, to format their book, to register their copyright, to secure their ISB, and all the things that they have no clue about. Or they go and they try to upload a book to Amazon by themselves, and then they get a copy in the mail, and they're like, what is this? This does not look like a book. It's double spaced, or the font size is too big. Our company takes all the guesswork out of that process for the author so that they can have a professionally published book. And I also want to say one other thing too, because you probably have a lot of viewers who are interested in publishing books, because every entrepreneur should be an author. I'm going to say that again. Every entrepreneur should be an author, because it helps you to establish credibility in your industry. But many people think that
Mm.
Amazon is their only option in terms of how to publish your book. And it's not. And it's not even the best option for paperback or hardback books. And Amazon doesn't even publish hardback books. You don't want to go because bookstores and libraries, financial, educational institutions, they are going to carry you on the shelf if you publish through Amazon. Amazon is their competition. So why would they order a book from their competitor to put it on their shelves? So instead, what they're going to do is they're going to say, no, thank you. And you're going to miss out on a lot of sales and a lot of opportunities. If you use a distributor like the one that my company uses, your book is available everywhere. It has returnable status, which means if a bookstore does take a chance on you and they put you on their shelves and it doesn't work, they don't lose their money because they can return that to get a refund. That is very attractive to the bookstore. So now you have a distribution network and you have a greater level of credibility because you now go to any corporations or any strategic partners that you're looking to partner with and say, hey, my book is actually on the shelves at Barnes & Noble or at Target or at Books A Million. But you're not going to be able to get to where you're trying to go if you only limit yourself to publishing through Amazon. So in a nutshell, I know I said a lot, but that is basically what our publishing partnership does, is it levels the playing field so that the everyday author who is just getting started will not be penalized or able to have their book at the same level as if it were published by one of the big 5 traditional publishing companies.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I always mute myself if I hear noise outside. Okay, my apologies. So, Otescia, one of the things that I always love to talk to entrepreneurs about is, what are some of the things that they have made, an anchor in their business, or what we like to call Keystone Habits. And there's a saying that I'm sure many of us are familiar with, and it says success leaves clues, right?
Yes.
And clearly you're leading a successful entrepreneurial journey. So what would be some of those clues that you've left along the way that others, if they were looking at you, they would say, now I see, because you are consistently doing a couple of things. What are those key things for your business?
Number one, I do not lay my head down at night without writing what I need to do the next day. So whether I stop work when I leave the office at 4 in the afternoon, or whether I come home and work in my home office till late in the night. But the last thing that I do every single night is prepare for the following day. Because I see so many entrepreneurs who are managing so many different things, it's very easy to let things fall through the cracks. So every single day at the end of the day, I take inventory. This is what I accomplished. This is what still needs to be done. The next thing is systems. Systems on top of systems on top of systems. Smart systems that talk to each other, that make your life so much easier. Before I had a client, I had a business that had a back office. So the same way that when I walked into my former employer's office, I sit down at the computer and log into my system, I knew what was going to happen every day. That's exactly what I set up in my business, because I needed a way to be able to track notes on what was going on at every single client. So if I have a conversation with someone and they decide they don't want to work with me, I have a date and time stamp, and I can tell you exactly what happened in that conversation 3 years from now. And what I have found is those leads always seem to come up when you're having, we have those ebbs and flows in business. And when it seems like, oh man, things are coming down, I go and explore some other things, all of those leads start to email you. You're like, what happened to you 2 years ago? But now I have notes. So I can talk to this person and they're like, wow, she remembers me. Actually, she keeps great notes. And so having a system that allows you to do that, again, it makes each person feel special. It makes each person feel as though you valued so much of what they brought to the table. And then the other thing that I say is, and there's a little bit of a disagreement on this. I always say, if you expect me to do 5 things, I'm going to do 6. And I don't do that just because, oh, she likes to over deliver and not get paid for it. That's not the case. But you will be surprised how many referrals you will get when you wow your clients. So when I first got started, all I had was my service ability, but those people were so pleased with what they received. I have a very, very strong referral network now, and I very, very rarely have to advertise because the people that I work with are always so pleased and so impressed that they start to tell other people. And at one point, I had a very popular referral program where they all received something in exchange for referring people to me. And at this point, I got too busy. I couldn't do that anymore. But the spirit of the referral kept going. So those are some of the things that have really helped me when it was time for me to start scaling and growing the business a little bit more.
Wow. Friends, listen, if you have been paying attention to this episode, Otescia has been dropping some entrepreneurial gold. Let me tell you, Otescia, thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be here. Just so that we know, how can our viewing audience connect with you if they're interested in learning more about your services?
Absolutely. They can always head over to our website. The company is called Bet on Yourself Enterprises. So our website is Bet on Yourself, ENT. And all of our information is available there. Pretty much everywhere on all social media platforms, OR Johnson. You could always look us up there as well. And that will allow you to connect. All of my platforms have links where you can connect with us as well.
Awesome. Wow, guys, Otescia served up breakfast, lunch, and dinner with this with this episode. No, but I mean, you said so much. I mean, you talked about preparing and planning for the next day, having smart systems that work for you, but at the same time work for your client. She talked about not making it hard for your client to do business with you or for them to give you their money, and keeping that customer service focus, that personal touch, delivering with excellence, and also having a great way to keep notes on your clients. So whether they do business with you a year from now or 3 years from now, you know where the conversation left off and you can make them feel that much more special. Look, I don't have time to recap everything that Otescia shared, so you guys will have to catch the replay. But Otescia, thank you. And guys, if you're out there and you want to be an author, please go visit her website. She can help you. There's no doubt about it. And plus, we believe in supporting businesses that are getting it right and serving clients at the highest level. So Otescia, thank you so much for being with us. And you never know, maybe you'll do some ghostwriting for Cedric.
You never. Thanks so much for having me. You guys are a riot. Y'all are hilarious.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being the Black Entrepreneurs Institute Business of the Month.
Thank you.
Definitely well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thanks for being here.
Wow, what an inspiring story.
Wasn't that great?
I love that. That was amazing.
Yes.
I just love even just the story of how she changed a problem, pivoted, and it really helped her find her potential. So a lot of times when people get into problems, they become the victim with a lot of alibis and excuses. But she said, nope, I'm going to pivot and I'm going to use my gifts. And look at her now from that situation. That's such an inspiration to me to hear that. And just for people out there to say that you can do it, right? You can do it. Put in your mind to something that you can do it, and how she leveraged that. That was amazing.
I so agree. And it really speaks to a lot of the things that we talk about in the boot camp, right? So many people, unfortunately, found themselves in similar situations because unlike, what Cedric teaches us, which is micro and macro streams of income, when your money comes from one source, and again, I'm not hating on jobs. I loved my job, spent almost 29 years at the same place. Cedric similarly, worked many years with one company, and, Damien and Nicole both have careers in corporate America, government. But what we all figured out was when we have one source of income and we let other people control what that is, there is a limiting factor. And at any point in time, that can change. And so many of you are out there, thinking about, I have this idea, or I would love to be in business for myself, and you just don't know how to start. And so as we get ready to start again next week, as Nicole mentioned, with another group or another cohort, I think this is a great time to talk a little bit, Damien, about, our boot camp.
No, absolutely. So guys, the BEI Business Boot Camp, it's an 8-week boot camp. It is intensive, but it is designed to give you the core foundation of what you need to not just survive, but thrive, not just have a side hustle, but have a real business that can get you real results and recurring revenue. So first of all, how do you know if this boot camp is for you? Well, it's for you if you haven't gotten systems. Otescia talked about having systems in place. If you think about your business, say, well, what kind of systems do I need? And you don't have an answer to that question, the boot camp is for you. Earlier in the conversation, one of the things I loved about what Otescia talked about, and Dr. Nick hit on this too, was the importance of understanding that when you market to everyone, you actually attract no one. So being able to define your niche and to begin to establish yourself as an expert. So if you don't know who you serve, or you're thinking that your product and service is for everyone, guess what? This boot camp is for you. Maybe you haven't gotten the paperwork together. You've got a service and you started off as a hobby and you've been bootstrapping it. Your friends and your family are buying from you and you're ready to take it to the next level, but you don't know how and you don't have your paperwork. Look, we want to help you start to get a plan in place so that you can begin to measure your business and move it forward. Because here's what we know. What gets measured gets managed, right? And so you can't manage your business if you're not measuring. So we want to make sure you have the right systems in place. Now, maybe you're someone out there and you're thinking, well, I recognize that if I'm going to go into business, I'm going to have to sell something. And look, if you are an entrepreneur, can I tell you, you are in the business of sales. Don't let me take my glasses off because you guys know I will. But you are in the business of sales and you've got to get comfortable selling. And if you're not comfortable with sales, you get these itchy feeling, your skin starts to crawl, you get goosebumps. When you think about sales, come to the boot camp. Or maybe you need to learn how to negotiate. Look, Cedric is a master, right? And we're not only going to just teach you theory, but we're going to give you practical applications. So if you've got a lot of information in your head, but you don't know how to make it live and breathe, put legs on it so you can walk it out in your business and produce real results, the boot camp is for you. If you feel stuck and you don't know how to scale up and you feel alone, the boot camp is for you. So here's what I'll tell you. We have a special going on, and I'll let Cedric talk to you a little bit about the special that we have going on. But it's a unique opportunity. We are trying to help as many minority entrepreneurs as possible. Now, it's not exclusive. We'll take anybody. If you're an entrepreneur and you need help, come join the boot camp. But we're all about helping people to elevate their mindset and their money. This boot camp is for you. Cedric, why don't you talk to the people a little bit about our special offer and help them understand why they should be here?
Yeah, well, so here's the thing, folks. It's all about priorities in life. And what do you prioritize? Are you prioritizing investing in yourself and in your business? See, we can tell you about the special. I can tell you that the special is going to be, it's going to be $2 for you to join. If you don't prioritize in your business yourself, then the special doesn't really matter. So you just need to go to the link, all right? And you'll find out all the details about the special and all this kind of stuff. But what I want to talk to you more importantly is, imagine you had a bank account that deposited $86,400 every morning. Now that account carries no balance from day to day. Every day you're going to have that $86,000 punched into that account. But every night, it's whatever you didn't use up, it's going to withdraw. So you can't carry it over. You can't hold it. You can't say, well, Angela, hold this on the side for me. No. You can't do that. See? Now, we all have a bank account like that, folks. See, it's named time. Every morning, it's going to credit you 86,400 seconds. Every night, it's going to write off as a loss whatever time you fail to use wisely. See, it carries no balance from day to day. It allows no overdraft, right? So you can't borrow it from somebody else. It's all about what you use in that moment every time. Each night, it destroys any unused time. Every night, right? So what are you prioritizing? See, if you fail to use today's deposit and prioritize for yourself, you lose it. See? Now, the same thing with time, folks. You need to understand now is the time to jump in. You can't say, well, I didn't know, because now you know. So once you know, you have a responsibility then to take some action. So I just want to tell you to click on the link. If you want to prioritize your life and you want to prioritize your business, you want to prioritize yourself, then you're going to click on the link and you're going to inquire. Once you click on the link and inquire, then you're going to jump in. But if you want your business to still struggle, if you want your business, you want to write that ticket for your business to fail, then you keep sitting on the fence. You keep saying one day, someday, someday. But if not, come join us on this side of heaven and we'll show you a good time in your business. So I want to thank you guys very much for a good show tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Click on the link and prioritize your life.
That's all it is for the show. Thank you, Cedric. Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.